Hi, and welcome to the meal plan. If you are still here, thank you for sticking around. I know this video has gotten longer than normal. It's already past the 30-minute mark, and I'm just now starting on my meal plan. And for some people, I know that that is exciting, like the longer the video, the better. But in general, the stats show that, especially for these slow living vlogs, silent vlogs, people will choose to not even watch them if they're past like 20 to 25 minutes in length, let alone watch the full video if it's past 30 minutes long. So I try not to do this too often, but I just had a lot to share, especially Sunday, doing all of the cleaning. Like the first, I think, 17 minutes or something of the vlog was just my Sunday cleanup after all of the chaos of just a busy weekend after a flooded basement and having to get everything back together. I still have stuff outside that needs to go. We're going to start taking it tonight to the dumpster. And then the dumpster, it's our friend's shop. He has an HVAC business, and he's like, you can come throw the stuff in there. It's not a ton of stuff, but it's still things that are laying outside. But anyway, it gets emptied next week, Wednesday. So next week, Tuesday night, the big stuff, like my son's dash in the basement, will go in then. But we at least want to get some of the like trim and aluminum pieces and stuff that are on my back patio hauled off tonight because I'm just sick of stepping over them. But the inside, I got back in order. Thankfully, I feel so much better about the house. The basement, we still need to get like the trim back up. I'm going to go ahead and get the beadboard paneling and chair rail and stuff so I can just finish all of it and be done with that. The one thing that I will still need to do at a later date is the wallpaper, because that doesn't have to be done right away. But if we're going to put the trim on, then the beadboard needs to go on first. So going to get all of that done. But anyway, this is not the time to be chit-chatting when the video is already long. So let's get into the meal plan for next week. I am going to do tofu kebabs. I've already done black bean burgers recently, so I didn't want to do that again, but I'm really starting to get a lot of stuff out of the garden now. And honestly, I could have a whole like 10-minute chat, I feel like, on the garden situation at the moment. But I am learning some new things for dealing with the blight and things like that. So I may share that at a later date when I'm not already at the end of a 30-plus-minute video. But I'm getting tomatoes, I'm getting cucumbers, I'm getting green beans, and they're just now starting, which means I'm soon going to be flooded with them. So I want to make sure that I can use those up. And I thought tofu kebabs would be a great way to do that because I would have that for my main, and then I can cook up some green beans, slice up some cucumbers and some tomatoes, and just have kind of the wholesome Midwestern summer meal. But rather than pairing it with the traditional like hamburgers and hot dogs like so many people do, I will pair it with these tofu kebabs instead. I've made them before. I do really enjoy them, so I think it's going to be a perfect pairing for that. So that's the plan for next week. I will have this in all of the usual places with the links to them. You can find them in the description box. They will be on my YouTube page as a post. They will also be on my Instagram stories. If it's past the 24 hours after this video has gone live, then it will be in a highlight on Instagram. So plenty of places to find it if you want to make it along with me. But with that, I will see you back here again next week on Sunday at 11 a.m. Central. And thank you so much, as always, for sharing your time with me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.